Hello, welcome to episode 45 of the Islanders podcast. My name is James.
And my name is Daniel.
And my name's Yan.
Today we're going to talk about COVID.
COVID.
And what we have done as a nation collectively.
Yeah.
Okay, so first I want to start by saying that you can't really talk about 2020 without talking about COVID.
Yeah.
Right? It is a flu-like disease that has widely spread across the world. And it's causing deaths every day, a lot of deaths every single day. Yeah. And due to heavy globalization, almost every country in the world has been affected. Okay,
Yeah.
with some countries being more severely impacted than others, like the US, or like its origin China, or like Brazil and many others.
Yeah.
Okay. So first I want to give you some stats about COVID.
Okay.
So right now, currently on this recording day, which is the 10th of August, the 11th of August, it has reached already 20 million infections worldwide.
Wow.
Okay, so like in Taiwan, we have a population of 23 million.
So we're kind of
So almost all the island of Taiwan has been infected worldwide. Okay,
Yeah.
so which is kind of scary.
Yeah.
And of those, about 734,000 have died. And I think 12 million have recovered.
Yeah.
Okay, so still a lot of people are still infected currently, and they're more infected every day, right?
Yes.
And of the 20 million, 5 million is in the US with 162,000 deaths.
Yeah, that's quite scary.
Total.
Yeah.
Right, which was unbelievable when we first heard about the disease in
I think it's unimaginable.
January, right?
It's unimaginable before 2019. Just everyone didn't have the preparation for this
we
kind
had
of
SARS
epidemic.
20 years ago we had SARS, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
But SARS wasn't
Like,
on the level of this
Yeah.
COVID. It wasn't even comparable, right?
I think it's not like widespread like COVID-19.
Yeah, and so we had a little bit experience in dealing with SARS.
Yeah.
But this was a whole new beast because it was all across the world.
Yeah.
And we have never seen such pandemic as big as this one in the recent years. Right? Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
So another scary stat is about how quickly it has grown. Okay. So it reached 1 million after only 86 days of discovering the disease in China. After the first case, after patient 0 in China, it only took 86 days for it to reach 1 million.
That's 3 months, yeah.
Yes, and after reaching 1 million, it only took like 73 days for it to reach 10 million.
Wow.
So it's exponential growth, right?
Yes.
I remember that the news that they discovered a new kind of virus in China.
Yeah.
It's like around in Chinese New Year.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's kind of like exploded in those 3 months.
It was very scary in China at the time. It was like an apocalypse right there.
Yeah.
Over there, right?
Yeah, and actually we're like preparing the studio for our recording podcast at that moment, and that stuff they banned all like shipping in from China to Taiwan. I think we're preparation.
It took a very long time for us to get some equipment from China, and just it was very scary at the time.
Yeah, it's very scary.
Yeah. So today we want to talk a little bit about what happened here in Taiwan, and what kind of measures we have been doing to prevent the spread of COVID. And what kind of stuff the government has done. Okay, so we want to talk a little bit about that. And so in Taiwan, we have 480 that are infected since the beginning of the disease, and of those, I think 443 have recovered.
Yeah.
There are still a couple of cases, mostly from abroad, from abroad, like from people coming back to Taiwan, or from foreigners, basically in Taiwan.
I think it's very few in the percentage comparing to all the other countries in the world. Yeah,
and so right now Taiwan is quite safe at the moment, but we still have to be very careful.
Yeah,
and you still definitely have to wear masks outside.
Yeah.
So be careful with that. And wherever you are, remember to wear masks. It protects you from the virus.
Yeah.
Okay. It's better than nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. So once Taiwan realized that this was a global threat, we kind of did a lot of measures to prevent it, right? So starting from February, which is quite quick.
Yes.
So we had an embargo on surgical masks.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we couldn't send surgical masks out of Taiwan.
Yeah.
I
think mask producing is like part of the industry of Taiwan.
Yes, and so But a lot of the masks were still based in China.
Mostly
factories were still based in China. Yeah. But at the time, our government decided to not export any surgical masks. And you couldn't buy surgical masks in 7-Eleven or convenience stores. They stopped the sales for that.
Yeah.
And they rationed it. Yeah. To the people.
Yeah. Yes.
So in the early stages of the disease, we could buy 2 per week, right?
Yeah, and we have to register.
Do you remember that? Yes, we had to use our ID card to buy 2 masks per week.
Yeah.
Which was quite it was not enough at the time.
Definitely not enough.
But because we didn't have enough masks at the time, so we could only buy 2 per week. And that was kind of the most scary part
and
of the whole spread of the disease.
Everyone's kind of in panic. Like my mom is in panic of all these things because you only have 2 masks per week.
Yeah.
I think per week. And we can only buy, I think, twice on 2 weeks, I think.
And so we had the embargo on surgical masks, but still a lot of local celebrities were critical of this
policy,
which was quite strange at the time for me, because I think that it's important for us to secure our country first before we help others, right?
And just do some simple math calculation, you will find that definitely not enough amount.
We didn't have enough masks
for everyone
at the time. So most of the people we tried to stay at home. During that time,
just reduce any.
I think that was about Chinese New Year. We stayed at home.
Yes,
in order to keep safe. Yes, and also so very early on we had a 14-day quarantine project, right?
Yes.
So if people were to come home from other countries, they had to isolate for 14 days.
Yeah.
Before coming in contact with the public.
Yeah, actually, this policy at that time also a lot of controversies. Some people say that 14 days is not enough. Some people say that 14 days is too.
And some people say that they had bad living environment. Yeah. But actually, it is paid by the government. It's for free. You even get a little bit of money after the 14 days.
1,000 per day.
Yeah, and it's very safe. It's safer for both you and for all the people in the country. Yeah, so in the early stages, we had quite a bit of cases every day, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and the government they did something very well is that they had heavy investigation into the cases.
Oh yeah.
So once one case is confirmed, then they would search for their history, their contact history of other people, and then get all the people checked.
Yeah, I think there's another measure that our government do quite well on this. I think at that time when the pandemic starts spreading, they try to do like an announcements each day. Yeah. So I think that makes Chinese people more believe in the government because
so
you will get
I will talk about that later in the second part. That is part of the secondary response. But in the initial response, they had heavy investigation into those confirmed cases, and then they could prevent the spread. And they had like history of contact history, which was very detailed, and it was very good at the time. Yeah. And so after like about a month or two, we went into the secondary stage, which was quite a bit of cases each day, right?
Yeah. Yes.
But we also had an increase on surgical mask production.
Yeah.
So we could buy 18 per 2 weeks.
18 per 2
18
weeks.
masks.
Yeah, that's quite enough for you can wear
one every day.
Every day, yeah.
And we also had a lot of videos online or a lot of like news online to teach you how to correctly use masks.
Yeah, and also wash hands.
Yeah, wash your hands.
There are tons of advertisements from governments.
And also from like our alcohol company.
Oh, yeah.
They made like special alcohol
for cleaning,
buy, like 75% rubbing alcohol for you to buy to clean your hands during that time.
I remember at that time, even YouTube channels they just taught you how to use masks and all the advertisements about that.
And also I think they closed down part of the hospitals. They closed the ER department, the emergency response department for only COVID use. So they isolated the COVID patients with normal patients, and then that would be safer for people to go to hospitals. And then it also restricted the people that went into hospitals.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like you could only go if you're visiting somebody, or like you can't bring a lot of people with you, right?
Yeah. And I think at that time our school is about to start. Before that is in our winter vacation.
We had an extended winter break.
Yeah.
Because of the disease.
I think 2 weeks or something.
Yes, 2 extra weeks.
Extra weeks.
To stay safe at home.
Yeah.
Yes.
And during the opening in school, like they took lots of measures. You have to you wear a mask every day. You have to measure your body temperature.
Temperatures are taken every day.
I think it's morning and in the afternoon you have to do 2 times of your body temperature.
And also online learning for some schools. From university, some we did some online learning.
We just do remote studying,
learning. Yes. And also, I think they had an express COVID testing system.
Yeah,
from the government. They did some research on making faster COVID testing equipment.
Yeah. I think at that time it's quite scary because I live in the dormitory of the school, so everyone just they flood into the dormitory when the school starts.
If one was infected,
all
it
of
was
us,
possible that all of us would be.
Yeah, that's very scary at that time.
Yes. Yeah. And one other very good policy is that masks were required for most public transport.
Oh, yeah.
For trains, for buses, or even taxi drivers.
I think it is now still
it is still recommended to wear masks everywhere. And you can't go on like trains without a mask.
Yeah,
which is very good. You cannot be careful enough.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, and like we said, temperatures were taken every day. We also have an update from CDC every day. So CDC was our center of disease control. And so every day they had a live stream to tell us what happened during the day and what kind of measures that they are doing to prevent that and how many new cases per day. So that was an important part in building the confidence of the people in the government.
Yeah. And also, Taiwanese people use a kind of like messenger app like called Line very much. Yeah, and I think there's a account for
we had
CDC.
Updates every day.
Yeah, we have updates every day.
So we have a live stream even to today. Even to this day, we have live streams every day.
Yeah, we have news from government every day. Yeah.
And now we're currently in like a post-peak stage. So the worst has passed. And I think that is part of the first wave. I think the worst of the first wave has passed. Yeah. But their masks are still required wherever you go, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the production of masks is now
it's quite enough.
Quite enough.
It's quite enough for us, and we could even export some of them.
And everyone just store lots of masks in their house.
Yeah. So temperatures are still taken somewhere in restaurants.
Yeah.
And then there are still a lot of sanitizer that you could use
everywhere.
So we wash our hands frequently. And we're now in preparation for the second wave.
Yeah.
So we want to prevent the second wave from happening.
Yeah.
And we can do that by social distancing and wearing masks right now. Okay, but it is currently safer than most places in the world right now. Yeah. And also we're currently developing vaccines like every other country. So we just need to wait for the vaccines to develop. Yeah. And then stay safe in the time being, right? Yeah. So, what was your experiences with the disease, Daniel?
I still remember that it was quite difficult to get some surgical masks because every convenience store has lots of people crowding in front of the store.
Yeah, and it makes things even more scary if you have to get into that group of people.
You have to get into the queue to get a mask, and there were a lot of people there, and that would be very scary, right?
Yeah, that's not good for the social distancing recommendation for these.
Yeah. But thank goodness we got through that stage, and right now people have enough masks to carry on their daily lives, right? Yeah. And there was something that I wanted to talk about is that a lot of people after right now is after the most the
dangerous
worst part,
way,
the most dangerous part has gone past. A lot of people actually went out to
vacation.
A lot of places to go on vacation across in Taiwan.
Yeah.
And still, I want to advise people to be very careful, and not to have we call that. I think a lot of people call that revenge vacation. In Taiwan, which is
you have suppressed some kind of desire for a long time,
so
and
they had to stay at home for a long time, and now they're trying to go out a lot. But I think it's still advised to stay home as much as possible.
Just take care.
Take care, and it's not revenging on anybody, right?
Yeah.
So
revenge on yourself.
Really, you just have to be very careful, and still we have to. It is not over yet, because you see in the world that every day there are so many people getting infected and so many people dying.
Yeah.
So we still have to be very careful from this disease.
Yeah, actually, I think it's in the peak of before the peak of this COVID-19 thing. That time is Chinese New Year, so I and my family went back to my mom's home, my grandpa and grandma's home, to kind of celebrate Chinese New Year. And every year we will get to a local temple for like New Year's just celebration. And it's something scary that when we got there's no one wearing masks there. So I think like local people, they just don't. I think they don't get the warning enough, or like they don't care about stuff. We still have to be very
careful. A lot of people in Taiwan still are not careful enough.
Yeah.
And there's a little story I want to share with you guys, which was a scary experience for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because during the height of the disease spreading in Taiwan, one day I got a fever.
Oh, fever?
I got a fever because like a very common symptom of COVID is fever.
Yeah, fever,
right? Fever and cough, right?
Yeah.
So what did you do?
So I got a fever and I thought it was COVID, but it wasn't COVID. I got chickenpox.
Oh,
so the second day I found out that I had little pustules on my skin.
What a relief!
Very relieved. I was very relieved that I only had chickenpox. But that was quite scary at the time because you know the disease was happening everywhere, and then you suddenly had a fever, which is quite scary.
Yes. And chickenpox makes people just fever repetitively, right?
Yeah, chickenpox is nothing.
COVID-19. Yeah,
I remember that actually COVID-19 affects my lab quite seriously.
Oh, really?
Yes, because at that time, it's really hard to get alcohol.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Normally,
so your lab requires alcohol to do some experiments.
Because in our lab, we use alcohol to clean our utensils, beakers and something like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So at that time, and 99.5% of alcohol is so expensive.
So
expensive. And the mask and glove is not very enough. It's really hard to buy one.
Mm-hmm.
There's another interesting thing I figured out. I found in my lab. So like my lab is in the I think it's biology department in our university, and I think they take a more strict measure to prevent like disease or something get into their building. So we have in that building we have like 2 stages of sanitary process you have to take to get into the building, and even in our lab you have to clean everything. I think it's a very high standard, and we've chatted about this matters with my like colleague and my classmates in the lab, and I think they talk about some part is that there's some biology consideration because the virus may be infected different kind of animals, experimental animals in the biology department. So I think it's quite interesting for me to find out that the biology department, they take extreme measures on preventing all these viruses getting into their labs and their animal rooms or something.
Yes, at that time to enter building in our schools, it requires to scan a QR code.
Yeah, QR code. Yeah, they have to check everyone's.
You have to have a history of where you have been. Yeah, like for the contact history and stuff.
You have to trail all of the history.
So I think we were very careful during the time. Taiwanese people as a whole, and our government was good in guiding us how to prevent the disease.
Yeah.
And one very good part is that our people are very trusting of the government, of the CDC, Center Disease Control, during the time, and it's nothing political. And so relating to disease, we didn't have any political views, which helped us a lot. I think we are very blessed that Taiwan is
quite united
very
together,
open and united in defending the disease.
Yeah, definitely.
So we hope all the best for the people around the world. Hope that you are staying safe, and be sure to wear a mask. It's much safer for you.
Don't put your guard down.
Tell us some of your quarantine stories, like your
How do you spend your time in your
how do you spend your
isolation?
time? Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll see you in the next episode. Stay safe, everyone.